All right, everyone. Let's have two blocks for our class today. And then nothing else you may need except the intent to practice while you're here. So we'll do a little bit of vigorous pranayama in the beginning. So if you have a tissue or something, you can just blow your nose a little bit and, make sure that everything's clear as much as it can be. And you'll place your blocks off to the front of your mat. And find your spinal alignment. It's like, oh, well, how do I know what that is? What is my spinal alignment? For me, it's just checking in with the north and south poles of the spine, the soft palate, and the pelvic floor. If I close my eyes and I just internally feel the soft palate above the pelvic floor below the soft palate. And then as I breathe in, I just feel maybe a little bit more length in my spine. And that's how we'll begin class. We'll just connect the open floor of the pelvic floor to the raised sky of the soft palate. And you'll just breathe in between these 2 points. You can feel like an elevator rising and falling with your mind, or just a general awareness of this arena between these two important chakras. Bring your palms together if you like for our invocation. Om Sato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam Gamaya Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam Gamaya Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam Gamaya. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Asatoma Sadgamaya. Lead us from that which is illusion, untrue, unreal, to that which is truth. Tamasoma Jyotir Gamaya. From that which is heavy, inert, veiled, to that which is illuminating. And Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. From the illusion that we are finite to the reality that we are infinite. Just seeing maybe out of those 3 phrases, the one that speaks most close to you, and keeping that in mind for the rest of the practice. With your next inhalation, take your arms out and up. Interlace the fingers, let's slip the palms, arms are facing one another. Chin slightly down for Jalandhara Bandha. We'll start with anywhere from 36 to 54 rounds of Kapalbhati. Forceful exhale, passive inhale. If you're on your cycle, at the end of your cycle, you'll just focus more on longer contained exhalations, contracting the lower abdominal muscles in. Inhaling up the spine, holding the breath for a moment, drawing up Mula Bandha if you're practicing Kapalbhati, and then begin. Forceful exhale, passive inhale, 36 to 54 rounds. Those of you not practicing, focusing on the containment from the pelvic floor around this pelvic basin, holding the internal water, life essence. Few more rounds of breath. And whenever you are done with Kapalbhati, if you're practicing, hands come down, relax. And then joining in these longer, deeper exhalations. So from Kapalbhati, transitioning now into Vishamavritti, containment. So feeling this transversus muscle between the two hip points, drawing in as you exhale, and then relaxing and softening as you inhale. Good. Now bring your dominant hand up. The peace fingers fold down. Hand towards the face. Relax your shoulders down and back. We'll do a few rounds of vigorous pranayama, anuloma pranayama. So we'll breathe out forcefully through one nostril and then breathe in slowly through the other. Right? So we'll start with our left nostril. We'll do this 3 times on one side and then switch in 3 times on the other side. So take a deep breath in and a long breath out. And then breathe in through both nostrils. Close your right nostril, breathe out forcefully through the left. And then close the left, inhale very slowly through the right. Slow sips of air. And when you're ready, you'll close the right, exhale forcefully again through the left. And then inhale very slowly to the right. We'll do that one more time at your own pace. Feeling the contraction of the abdominal muscles as you do this. After you breathe in through the right nostril, take your hand down and take 3 resting breaths. Normal, natural breath. This pranayama is meant to bring mental clarity. Good, and then bring the hand back up to the face. This time we'll breathe out forcefully through the right nostril and then slowly through the left, right? So take a breath in, long breath out. Breathe in again. And then close the left nostril, forceful exhale through the right. Slow inhale through the left. And continue forceful through the right, inhale through the left, 2 more rounds, and then you'll bring your hand down and rest. So when we think about engaging the core, right? First, we have to engage the core on a pranic level through the pranamaya kosha, activating the energy here through our pranayama, awakening something that's dormant, inert, or seemingly empty. Good. And then bringing your hand down whenever you're ready and relaxing your breath. You'll relax your legs long and then come to lay on your back. As you come to lay on your back, just take a moment to stretch the whole body, Supasana. So reach long through the whole system, pointing the toes and reaching the arms up overhead. Few breaths here. Right, let's start slowly through access of the internal core. Good. With the arms up overhead, you start to lengthen and release the tension along the muscles that wrap around the ribs. and even deeper around the lungs so that the lungs can stretch and take in more air. And maybe you can feel the bottom edges of the lungs ballooning down and into the gut. Good. And then as you exhale, let's take the arms down, bend your knees, step your feet onto the ground, a little bit wide, right? And just rock your knees a little side to side. Right, we're focusing today on awakening these bottom three chakras of the body. And through awakening, that means regaining power, confidence, inner strength. Good. And then bring the knees back to center. You'll lift your hips, take your hips off to the right side so you're a little bit crooked, and then drop both knees over to the left. And take the right hand behind your lower back and your left hand on top of the lower right abdomen so that you're kind of hugging the right lower abdomen from the back and the front. And through the touch of your hands, bring your pranic awareness here, your awareness of the expansion of energy into your liver, your colon, intestines. Might feel nice to hug the muscle or the fatty tissue as you exhale, and then relax the hands as you inhale. You're giving a nice massage to the internal organs. Good. And then release your hands, breathe in, and just rest your palms on top of your belly. Bring your hips back to center and just see the difference. Just check in, right? Does one side feel happier than the other side? Happier, I mean more expansive, more present. And then lift the hips over to the other side, left side, and then drop your knees as you exhale over towards the right. And again, hug the lower left abdomen, left hand behind at the kidney area, and right palm on top at the lower belly. Giving your direct mental tension here so that you invite prana into this region, and then the intelligent life force of prana then chooses what to invoke. Right? This is really the practice of Tantra, to expand life force and life potential into different areas of our body by weaving prana with intention, with movement. Good. And then you release and inhale, come back through center, hips back to the center, and just feel for a moment if there's a change. Now slide your hands a little bit lower into your lower abdominal region. So you can even have your fingers in the shape of a triangle, thumbs connected and pointer fingers connected and pointing down towards the pelvic floor. Now, as you exhale, press your hands into your lower abdomen down into the back, back down into the ground, flattening the lumbar spine. And then as you inhale, release. So little pelvic tilts. Really release the lumbar spine as you breathe in. You might even exaggerate the curve upwards. And then as you exhale, that exaggerated curve, then you really can feel it pressing down, down, down. And the slight lift of your tailbone as you press the rest of your spine down. Good. and just continuing like this. Good. Now, if you'd like to, if you're at the end of your cycle, right, that means, you're past the first 3 days or so, or if you're not on your cycle, you can continue this movement with Mula Bandha. So throughout your exhalation, contracting the pelvic floor, holding that contraction throughout, and then relaxing that contraction and then breathing in. Good. So the core doesn't represent or become just the outer wrapping of the muscles, but the deep, deep, deep inner furnace, the deep inner core where Kundalini resides, this coiled serpent awaiting awakening, awaiting a burst of energy, burst of prana. Good. So maybe you can even visualize that serpent unwinding around the doorway of Sushumna, that central channel. One more time. Good. And then relax your effort. You'll roll over to one side. Inhale, press up and come to all fours. Good. We're going to do a little bit of a cat-cow movement, but again, slightly different than we normally do. We're going to try and isolate the left and right sides of the abdomen, like we do in Nauli, right? Or Agnisara. So as you exhale, lean over to the right side and draw the right lower abdomen in, and then come through center. As you inhale, come into cow pose, releasing and lifting the chest. And then as you exhale, shift over to the left side, draw the left lower abdomen in, and then rotate to center. Inhale through the center into cow pose, and then over to the right. So it's almost like you're making a little infinity sign with your tailbone. Coming through the center and wrapping around to the left and then wrapping around to the right. And again, you can choose whether or not to do Mula Bandha here. Good. And then with your next breath, just coming to a neutral tabletop position and breathing normally, naturally. It's very rare that we get to isolate the layers and upon layers of muscles of the abdomen that protect and cover our internal organs. Good. Now with your next inhalation, extend your legs back, come into a high push-up position. See if you can smooth your breathing as you stay here. 5 breaths, knees up or knees down. Right, create softness in the finger joints, softness in the elbow and wrist joints. Focus is on the lower abdominal cavity. Good. And then your next exhalation, lift up into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Just enjoying the grace of this pose, the ability to recline the heart, reverse the flow from the pelvis upwards. Beautiful. As you inhale, take your right leg up. As you exhale, come forward back into that high push-up position. Right leg stays up. One breath here. Good. Next exhalation, you'll take that right shin forward between the hands, lay the shin down, and then reach that left leg long behind you. Gordasana, or lizard position, right? That back leg is like the lizard tail. Walk your fingertips towards you. Grow up a little bit higher out of the right hip. Gaze forward. What would it feel like to release the weight off of the hands? What would you have to adjust in your body to do that? And seeing if you can maybe come up onto the fingertips, or maybe call upon the Mula Bandha pelvic floor to extend the arms out to the sides. Maybe you stay down. Some days it's just not possible. Good. Exhale, palms plant down onto the ground, tuck the back toes. Walk the back knee forward. Inhale, come up off of the shin, and then step the foot forward between the two hands. Lunge. Good. And then your next inhalation, press into the feet, rise up, reach up, gazing up if you like, and then lengthening the lower abdominal area, especially from the left thigh upwards through the left arm. Good. Now, as you exhale, take the fingertips down. Hopefully the blocks are close by at the front of your mat. Medium or highest height. Good. Inhale here. Exhale completely. Hold your breath out at the end of the exhalation, and then lengthen that right leg forward any amount into half split or towards full split of Hanumanasana or Ardha Hanumanasana. Inhaling and exhaling here, keeping the head elevated, or if you prefer, deepening the expansion at the back of the right leg by lowering your head into a forward fold. Beautiful. You can even consider, would it be possible for me to be fully supported on my legs and raise my hands any amount? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe you want to try. Good. And then exhale all the breath out. Slide the foot back into a lunge position. Your mat might curl up with you. And then inhale, reach the leg back. Nice and long. Stretch the entire right lower abdominal cavity. And then exhale, step the knee down. Blocks off to the side, hands down. Tuck the toes. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Good. As you inhale now, the weight comes onto the right foot as the left leg lifts. Good. Exhale, come forward. High chaturanga with the leg up. One breath here. Build the fire, and then your next exhalation, slide the shin forward between the hands, back leg extending long. Gordasana, feel their long tail-like energy. It's almost like the tailbone grows into the right leg. Good. Arching up with the heart. And then see if you can come up onto the fingertips. Find the strength in the legs, legs against earth, earth against legs. And then maybe you inhale and spread the arms wide, or maybe you stay down. Don't compromise your breathing for a seeming posture. Exhale, palms down. Inhale here, tuck the back toes, walk the knee forward slightly, and then step your left foot forward between the hands. Low lunge. Your next breath in, extend the arms up. Back bend any amount, gazing straight or up. And then exhale next. Hands down, reach your blocks close to you, either side. All the breath out. With the breath held out, extend that leg forward, left leg forward, any amount. Choose the upright position of the chest, or maybe bend your elbows and fold towards the leg. Or maybe you do more dynamic vinyasa with the breath, up and down. The front knee doesn't have to be completely extended. It can be light bend in the knee to help protect any pulling in the hamstring muscles. Good. And then inhale to rise, slide the foot back all the way. Maybe extend the leg long, take the blocks off to the side, hands down, and then exhale. Knee comes down, tuck the toes, walk the hands forward and up into Adho Mukha Svanasana. Gaze forward, exhale all the breath out, step or hop forward to your hands. Utkatasana. Inhale, lengthen the legs and fold over them. Uttanasana. Hands to the hips or interlace the fingers, extend out and rise all the way up. Urdhva and then exhale, arms down. Tadasana. Step your feet apart. Comfortable distance, not like you would do a Trikonasana, triangles, but comfortable distance for Akunchana Prasarana. Bend your knees. Take your hands on your thighs. Lock the elbows, shoulders up towards the ears, right? Abdominal squeeze here. So as you exhale, hold the belly in, drop the chin down. Nice strong Ujjayi pranayama, constricting the throat. As you inhale, release it. Head comes to neutral, chest expands, lower back expands. Good. Exhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And inhale, release. Maybe you already start to feel that essence of fire. So those of you who have already gotten the instructions for Agnisara, I won't instruct today, but if you've gotten the instructions for Agnisara and want to continue in that route, you can. Otherwise, the rest of you, just feeling that deep squeeze on the exhalation and the relaxation on the inhalation. Now, you don't even have to focus so much on the muscular effort because we've already built towards that in the previous postures. Instead, focus on what's happening deeper in the gut, maybe visualizing the fire, visualizing the burning up of mental impurities. Good. A breath or two more. If you start to feel dizzy, just stop. Good. Right, and then if you're on the long edge of your mat, just turn to the short edge to keep the posture. Yeah. And then you'll turn your heels in, toes out, bring your palms at the center of your heart, and then come to squat down into Malasana. As you squat down, just feel the two poles, the tailbone pointing down extends the crown of the head up, right? Just like if you drop the crown down, that would bring the tailbone up, right? So staying here, upper arms pressing against the inner legs. Strong connection between thighs and arms. And then close your eyes. Samavritti breathing. Deep contraction of the lower navel. Really feel into the first three chakra regions. Good. Gently flutter the eyes open. Bring the palms down in front of you, shoulder width apart. Lean forward, and then just hop the big toes together. Yeah, knees wide, big toes towards one another or together. Good. Now press into your palms. Inhale, lift your tailbone, keep the knees bent, and then stick the knees to the outsides or insides of the upper arms or on top of the upper arms, whatever feels most comfortable. Gaze forward. Stay here. You really start to feel the engagement of your abdomen, or coming towards Bakasana, lifting one heel, one foot, then the other foot. I don't think I've done this pose since pre-pregnancy, right? So it's new for me. If you're tired, you need to sit back down into Malasana and then try again. Good. And then everyone eventually come down. Reach your arms behind you. Sit the sitting bones onto the earth. Extend the legs long. Dandasana. In Dandasana, the feet are flexed towards you and the palms will be face up on the thighs. Relax your fingers. Good. So that any strain in the wrists, you're just breathing into. Very nice. And then start to reach forward. Hold on to your ankles and then guide your feet onto the floor. Grab your peace fingers around your big toes. Lean back and then lift the heels like you would be in a happy baby, but upright. Good. 5 breaths staying here or extending the legs into Navasana. If you're extending the legs, you're lifting your face to gaze up at the big toes, specifically at the nails of the big toes. Bring your feet together. Good. 2 more breaths, otherwise come to rest. If your legs are extended, bend your knees. Bring them in towards the armpits. Tuck your chin in. We're gonna roll onto our back. So be very careful. If there's something behind you, then maybe don't roll back. Maybe just make your way back. Otherwise, if there's nothing behind you, roll, roll, roll down and find your way into happy baby. Rolling side to side. Press your upper back firmly into the ground once you've come to the center, and just enjoy the spreading of your shoulder wings. And then stay here, or extending into Supta Konasana, extend the legs into a V shape. If you can't hold on to the big toes to do so, hold on to the backs of the legs, backs of the calves, anywhere that feels comfortable. And then exhale, release the feet one at a time onto the ground. And then release the legs long one at a time onto the ground. Roll the shoulders underneath you and flip the palms open. Relax the head. We're going to come into a 2-minute Shavasana just in silence. Just rest your body. Normal, natural breathing. All effort releasing to the ground now. Watch how your breath pattern changes. So there's something that is coming out through the physical sensation of the body. Maybe the breath shudders a bit, or it needs to sigh out the mouth, or something has to be expressed through the breath so the body can relax. And just let it be expressed naturally. Your only task is to bring the mind into the role of the buddhi, the observer, the witness. And interestingly, to do that, you have to do nothing. You have to make no effort or suggest the mind in any direction. It's a deep letting go of the mind so the mind can relax into the seat of the observer. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Gently wake up the body through a deeper breath now. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Awaken through feeling of your prana, your sensations in the body running through the limbs from the heart center out in all directions. And then once that prana has reached through the fingertips and toe tips, then maybe moving, being inspired to move the limbs. Yeah, stretch, stretch, stretch. You can choose if you have energy, vitality, rolling up and down the spine and coming up to a seat, or if you just want to relax a bit, roll to the side and gently come up from a fetal position. Okay. As you're ready, you'll come to your meditative seat. And whenever you do reach there, starting to breathe in Ujjayi. Take your time, no rush. But when you have established the seat, breathing in Ujjayi and breathing out Ujjayi. Let your inhales and exhales match. So you choose usually your inhalation will guide the ratio. Samavriti breathing, but with kumbhaka now, with breath retention. So let's take an inhale together and an exhale. Now inhale. Hold the breath for equal length as your inhale, focusing at the soft palate. And then exhale, equal length. And then hold the breath at the end of the exhalation, focusing on the Muladhara chakra, the pelvic floor. And then just continue like this. Inhale, hold, exhale, hold. Through the inhales and exhales, there's activity, but then the hold, see if you can suspend all processes in the mind. Everything just comes to a pause. And then the release or the inflow. Relax your jaw, teeth, face, eyes, cheeks, so that you are receiving the pranayama rather than actively forcing or making yourself do it. Almost feel as though the pranayama is being done to you. The next time you hold the breath out at the end of the exhalation will be your last round. You'll come back to just normal, natural breath. We'll spend 1 minute in Shanmukhi Mudra, closing the sense doors, plugging the ears with the thumbs, next two fingers over the eyes, ring fingers to the corners of the nostrils and pinkies to the corners of the lips. 1 minute of Shanmukhi Mudra, either in silence or with Brahmari bees breath, right? If you're feeling sluggish, tired, inert, do Brahmari. Otherwise, if you feel quite sattvic, peaceful in the mind, focus on the inner silence in the center of the heart. Go ahead, 1 minute, plug the ears, Shanmukhi Mudra. And then taking the hands down, keeping the eyes closed, resting deeply. Spend a minute in meditation within yourself. Take a deep breath in and a long breath out. As you inhale, bring the palms together. Let's take the sides of the thumbs to the third eye center between the eyebrows. Thankfulness to the Guru within, to all the Gurus, those who have walked before us, those who walk beside us, and those who will come after us. As you exhale, surrender your body to Mother Earth, thanking the earth for witnessing our practice. Hari Om. Hari Om Tat Sat. Inhale, bring the arms up. You can rub the palms. If that's the way you would like to come out of your practice, reach the arms up, whatever you like. Heat to the eyes massage, face massage, feeling like you're molding clay, molding your form back. And then slowly coming back. Yes.